Shares of Alphabet trading lower this morning after YouTube ad revenue came up short of expectations. That stock this morning down by 3.8%.
It's like, this is it. The AI bubble's popping. That's it. It's over. I mean, do you think that's what's really going on here?
Absolutely not. I think what's happened is you're having some deceleration from some of the rapid growth that we had. And there's some normalization in terms of what the prices should be. I mean, if you're looking at kind of how AI has kind of basically taken over our vocabulary, yeah, it's probably gotten a little exuberant. But at the end of the day, a lot of these companies are going to drive earnings going forward. Are they going to grow at 250% year over year? Of course not. And so that's kind of what we're coming off of. But the internet itself and a lot of the things that we saw, the cloud weren't straight up. They had these fits and starts. And I think that's what you've got now. You're getting a resetting of some of those names. And some of the names are going to deliver and some of them aren't. And I think it's a stock picker's market when it comes to AI.
When nvidia is down $1 trillion from its peak, does that entice you at all? I mean, do any of the Mag 7, which are now down about a significant amount, maybe 8% peak to trough the past couple of weeks?
A couple of weeks ago, there were major announcements from all the big players in AI. One of them was OpenAI with searchgpt, a product that will allow you to search the web just like Google search, but powered by the best models from OpenAI. In the same week, Meta also announced their new open source model called Llama 3.1. The model has about 4 billion parameters and based on benchmarks is comparable to OpenAI GPT 4.0. Also, during that week, Google ran their quarterly results. The results were very good, mainly on ad revenue and also a big growth on the cloud side of the business. When people who attended the earning calls asked the CEO, what about the revenue from AI? The Google CEO responded, this is going to take some time. In this episode, we are going to discuss the current state of AI and what might change and what might stay and what is going to be successful and what might fail. So if you like this kind of discussion, stay on.
I'm just jumping right into it, right? Because I've been looking at OpenAI for a while now, and since the company is a private one, it's very difficult to understand what's really going on in terms of like financials. Because for me, they are one of the leading candidates or players in the AI space. So looking at their financials should be actually very, very helpful in basically knowing how this thing is progressing. I know that, back in 2022, they make, I think, $28 million, jumped to $2 billion according to the estimate in 2023. And then now it's on a good way to reach $3.4 billion. So that's all we know. We've seen a lot of articles, last year saying OpenAI is going to go bankrupt because all the money they are spending on ChatGPT to kind of run the model or, just to make it, work is a lot. According to some sources, it is around $700K per day. I don't know how true that is. But basically, their argument was that, if you are spending all that money, OpenAI is not going to be sustainable. I mean, it's not going to be profitable, basically. And if OpenAI is not profitable, what does that mean for the whole kind of AI sector, really? But
so we at this point, if you don't know that AI might be some kind of bubble, I don't know what to tell you, right? AI is real. I'm not saying it's not real. Can do real things. There we might find value in AI the way it is now and the way it's going to be in the future. But again, tech ecosystem around it is in kind of a hype. So we are still in this hype phase where a lot of money is being thrown at these projects. And we are just trying to discover where the utility is going to fall. And what we are seeing now is that, yes, OpenAI is losing money. That's just the truth, right? And there is concern that we might not be able to make these models smarter. There is a big concern. These models are basically reaching a plateau where the intelligence of the AI, right, or the reasoning capabilities of these models might be flattening. Also, this week, there was another article from I believe New York Times or Financial Times, that is saying that OpenAI is going to lose $5 billion this year. That is a lot of money. Looking at all this and compared to the revenue, we know it's a company that is still in a growth phase and all that stuff, but they are spending so much. There are reports from NBC and Bloomberg that it takes about 10 times the power to run a query from an LLM compared to just a simple Google search. So we are asking ourselves, like, this search capability, although it's great because I can say that about 90% of the time now, I only use ChatGPT for my search. Any search related work that I have to do, I only use ChatGPT. I don't use Google anymore because I feel like it's wasting my time. I don't want to read through 100 articles. I just want the answer. To me, the way I look at this is that OpenAI has run out of ideas because, one, there is a lot of competition. So if we take the case of Meta making a very powerful model free for the world to use, why will anybody pay OpenAI? That's one big question. Second, if there is possibility to make this AI reasoning even better than what they are today, don't forget, all this AI are trained on ideas that humans have already produced. It's very, very, very difficult for them to come up with something new. That's why, so far, we haven't really seen anybody generating money from this. It will happen, but it's going to take time.
Yeah, I totally understand what you are saying. I mean, just to kind of say one thing regarding your last point, which is the fact that nobody has made money out of it. What we are talking about here is real money. We are talking about a company that made a lot of money out of this. Not we're not talking about people that created small businesses to generate a little bit of cash here and there. We're not talking about that. But based on what you said, right? For me, an analogy that I would use for Google search and OpenAI would be Timu and Amazon, right? So Amazon is the Prime is, I would say, is a little bit expensive compared to Timu, basically. So basically, Google search is like using Timu, where you buy very very cheap stuff, but you spend a little bit of time waiting to get your product and etc. etc. While when you use OpenAI, you get something more direct, right?
Right.
Which is something customers would have to decide which one they want to go for. And in your case, you say that you want to go for, or the one that you use the most is, OpenAI. Use ChatGPT to get your answers, but there are a lot of people that still use Google search, and that's what they've been used to. And this whole debate about Google search is going to disappear and things around those lines, that's not that true, because a lot of people
Yeah.
are still kind of using it. So those are kind of the two things that I wanted to kind of jump on. But beside those, right, if you were to think of OpenAI and the AI state, and let's suppose that the model can't get smarter, let's say the progress, this is like peak AI we are at now, what do you think is going to happen? So far, what I know about OpenAI is just three things. They do like text stuff really well, generating text around, summarizing stuff, generating like longer tests based on like very small ideas or very small sentences. So they are very good at text. Reasoning is a little bit, is not the best. Second, there is image processing. We've seen quite a lot of software and stuff based on that. And the third one is video generating. So those are the three things they are doing now. If we were to take only those things and the things that we have now, what you think is going to happen? The impact that would have on the users, basically. Do you have any thought on that? I don't have any. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I do have some thoughts. Image generation is going to be what it is now. Like, people are going to keep generating images for their work, whatever they need it for, right? Social media, whatever. There are a lot of players in the market. OpenAI is not the biggest player in there, and that market is actually segmented. I think the biggest player is Midjourney, which has the most of the users and the best models, I believe, as well. There is also Adobe, which plays a big role in that market. So the market is quite fragmented. So I don't think they win on that side. Video generation, a lot of small players there as well. But the thing with video generation is that it consumes even more power, more processing. There needs to be a way to scale that and reduce the price for it to make sense. There is a big hurdle they have to go over. That's basically why OpenAI never released officially Sora, because it's going to
Exactly.
cost them so much to run. And
Yeah.
on the text generation side, the way I'm looking at it now is that if reason capabilities cannot go any further, we've reached a tipping point. There is a big if, right? Because I'm not can predict the future. It is possible that we can increase this 10x, right? We don't know, but from my point of view right now, based on what is coming out, the whole industry is something that I've said maybe 3 or 4 months ago. 3 and 4 months ago, right? I said that this thing is good at reading and understanding data, and data keeps changing every day. So if you take a company like Perplexity, what they've done is basically layered the AI on top of the current data that the internet has. And that makes it more useful, because even if you train your data on all the internet's information, there is still a lot of proprietary data that exists in many companies and many industries, right? And OpenAI doesn't have direct access to that. Most LLM don't, right? Unless you find a way to get that data. And I think a lot of companies are now realizing that if reasoning capability is not going to go up, maybe we can just pair this proprietary data or current data. That means that instead of train the AI every year, let's augment the data, the reasoning capability, with new data that we have, right? Which referencing RAG, basically, retrieval augmented generation, which basically means that you have your model and you pair your model with some data, and the model sift through the data and quickly answer questions. And that's what basically Perplexity is. That's where GPT is going to be. And I think that's where the whole industry is going to go, where there will be a lot of AI models layered on top of some specific data. And then they will become very, very good at doing certain things. But as far as having a generic model that is super smart and knows everything, it's going to be expensive, extremely expensive. And it's going to be costly for the company to run. And you can run like a model that is super intelligent and people are just asking, like, give me a picture of a cat or something like that, you know?
Exactly. People asking just dumb. People just play with it, to be honest with you.
Right.
But yeah, I totally understand what you mean. And based on what you said, so basically the video part, I think that's not so sustainable, because that's like too expensive based on, where we are now. Text generation, sorry, that's where the real kind of potential is, if more proprietary data were to be leveraged. Coming back to this thing for regarding OpenAI, their search GPT, I really don't know why they are doing this. This is just Perplexity.
Yes, I can answer that, because in one of the last interview that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, did, he said that every startup should pray that they, OpenAI, are able to increase reasoning capability for the models, meaning they able to improve the abilities of the models. It's basically, he was talking as if it was a threat to the whole industry. That in case they are not able to improve the reasoning capability of the models, basically they will have to focus on building, specific traditional applications. And that's what they are doing. That's what is happening. So if they are building searchgpt based on that previous statement that he made, that means that they are finding it very difficult to increase the reasoning capability. And he used a word he's gonna steamroll all the startups that are building these small apps. And that's what is happening. Perplexity is gonna be the first to be steamrolled in this.
That's not great. So talking about Facebook and their Llama, how do you, like, as a software engineer, how do you see the future of, Llama? Is it 3? Llama 3.1, yeah.
What is happening here? A little bit of context here. A lot of these hyperscalers, meaning Microsoft, AWS, Google, they are all offering Llama. If you're a developer, you can just go to these companies and get access to Llama, which is an open source model. But they are not the only one offering them. Your OG, Grok, if you remember in the past, we made a video about Grok. They have very specialized hardware to run their AI, which make them very fast and very cheap. Out of the 3 big hyperscalers, Grok will be the cheapest, I believe. And they already implemented this. Today, you can go to Grok and get access to Llama 3.1. So given that Facebook is giving this out for free and it's going to be very cheap for developers, they can actually compete with OpenAI. Again, we are circling back, guys. I remember when this whole LLM stuff started, some people there was a lot of reorg at Microsoft, like move from team to other team to work on LLM. And some people were fired. And in a lot of companies, people were fired because people were thinking AI is going to be the new way to write software. It's going to be easier and all that stuff. I think we are circling back, because if this thing cannot be smarter, then we are just going to go back to building traditional software, just using this AI as, some part of backend to it. That's all it's gonna be. So
Yeah, these company are going to be writing back to their software engineers.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry guys, that was a mistake. So we can come back now. One thing that I wanted to talk about as well is the impact on the stock market, and the company that everybody think about when you are talking about AI is nvidia, of course.
Right.
This would be an earthquake even to the S&P 500, because the growth in the past, I mean, since last year, has been driven by the Magnificent Seven, and this is mainly based on AI stuff. So that would be catastrophic. I don't know what you think about it, but
Yeah, actually, if you looked at the stock market this couple of weeks, if you look at Nvidia is actually down a little bit. Last 5 days, Nvidia is down about 6%. Microsoft is down about 4%. And the whole chip market, meaning TSMC, ASML, all these other guys, all these other stocks, chip stocks, they are all down. Investors are realizing, and especially after what Google said, that the revenue that will be generated from AI are going to come, but it's going to take some time. After that statement, that's when everything started going down. And investors are now forced to face reality and acknowledge that they might not get the growth or the hyper growth that they were expecting, putting or pumping these stocks.
yeah,
So there is going to be a correction. I would say SearchGPT is not going to dethrone Google. Google has built its brand over so many years and the product stuck, right? Even for search, instead of saying search, we say Google. That's not going to go away. Again, OpenAI might eat portion of the users, but it's going to take them a while to actually really eat a big chunk of the users that Google has. Second thing, how are they going to generate money from this? Because this is going to cost them so much. If it takes 10 times the electricity to run this than run Google search, right? How are they going to generate money from this? Is there going to be a GPT ad network that is going to come where people can place ads in these search results? I don't know if people want that. I don't know if people are going to pay them $20 to use search. I don't think so. If there is Google and Gemini, they're probably not going to do that. So it's probably going to be an ad play again. And we will go back to where we were. This is literally, to me, the way I say this is just a correction. There was hype, and people are coming back to reality. That's all it is.
okay, guys. We've been working very hard on this AI-backed platform that enables individual and professional investors to query 10K, 10Q, and earning call reports. And this platform is set to revolutionize the way you invest in stock, as it is going to enhance your efficiency thanks to the AI that will quickly process and analyze the vast amount of data in these financial reports, and also highlights the trends, enabling you to make a better decision regarding your investment. And as a matter of fact, all the insight you will see in this video was gotten from this platform. So currently the platform is at a beta version, and we are looking for investors to try it for free and provide us with feedback. So if you are interested, please subscribe to our Substack. The link is in the description, and thank you very much.